So, we're moving on from the failures of the League of Nations in the 1930s now, and we're going to look at an absolutely fascinating conflict which gets overlooked a little bit by what happens when it is over, and that is the Spanish Civil War, which lasts from 1936 to 1939, and it was a major European conflict, as I say, overshadowed by World War II, which comes afterwards. So, for many people, it is seen as a missed opportunity. The winner of the Spanish Civil War is General Francisco Franco. He is a fascist, and he is supported by Nazi Germany and fascist Italy. He is up against the Republican, who, as we'll see, are bitterly divided, who are supported, but not to the same extent as the fascists by Germany and Italy. But the Republic is supported by the Soviet Union. They turn repeatedly to Britain and France, but don't get any assistance from them. So the background to the Civil War, I can go back to 1903. So Alfonso XIII becomes the King of Spain in 1903, and he inherits an incredibly poor country. So, as far as Spain was concerned at the start of Alfonso XIII's reign, life expectancy was 35 years of age. 65% of the country were illiterate, they couldn't read or write. 2/3 of the country lived and worked on the land in agriculture. World War One, Spain stayed neutral. There was a short economic boom because of this, but it didn't last. It didn't last at all. And also, the nation was bitterly divided when the war came to an end. It was divided between conservative middle classes who controlled the economy, they controlled industry, they controlled the land, they supported the role of the Catholic Church in Spain, and they were resistant to any type of change. So on the one hand, you have the conservative middle classes. On the other hand, you have everyone else who are campaigning for change, but they are divided. They're divided between anarchists, communists, and socialists. So they don't have a unity of cause, which affects the Republican side during the Civil War. So they want reforms. They want land to be redistributed. They want a fairer society, what they consider to be a fairer society, and it's seen from those in the Basque Country and also amongst Catalans, many of whom want greater freedoms, many of whom want independence. So in 1923, there was a coup. The leader of the army, General Primo de Rivera, uses the military, and he is basically running the country. Alfonso XIII is still around, but he is, General de Rivera is really running the country as a dictator. So this lasts until 1930. In 1930, in the early 1930s, the Depression hits, and Spain is badly affected by the Depression. So in 1931, there is an election, and in 1931, that election is won by the Republicans. So they come to power promising to reform Spain, and the country is so divided that in the best interests of the country, Alfonso XIII abdicates, or he resigns.